just when you thought this week couldn't get even more grim,
Oh my
you
God,
had
yeah.
the Sarah Everard story that just kind of, I don't know, it just came out of the blue about how there was a woman disappeared, and obviously we've got to be careful talking about this because it's an active case, and a police officer has now, been. First, it was like, oh, there's a woman missing. We all know where she is. If you've got any details, let us know. And the way I think it just kind of moved so quickly, then it became a man has been arrested for the kidnapping, and then it was like a man's been arrested for the murder of this person. Then it was a body, or I think there was like
Human
remains.
remains. Yeah,
Human remains were found in some woodlands in Kent, and then it was made
confirmed.
clear that, or confirmed, that it was Sarah Everard, and the way that just kind of moved so quickly, and the way that whole situation just occurred, and it's just one of those things, and it's very difficult to now talk about this as a bloke because everything apparently she was supposed to do, she did. Wear bright clothes, have your phone in your hand, have your key in your hand, have your emergency contact at the ready. I think she even called her boyfriend. Did everything right, and because you tell women this is what you got to do to stay alive.
Which is in of itself is atrocious, right?
Yeah, it doesn't get more atrocious than that, and and then you literally had like men coming out going, "Oh well, if you did this, if you did that, no, 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 no." It's like,
I mean, look, there's what I think it all boils down to the fact that, I mean, in hindsight, we could all do things differently, no matter what it is in life, right? The fact of the matter is, you shouldn't get abducted, full stop, when you're
yeah,
outside, and least of all by a serving police officer. I mean, like I said, we don't know what the outcome of this case is going to
allegedly,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but anyway, my heart goes out to her family and her friends, man. Like this is such a tragic circumstances, and obviously not something you'd wish on anybody.
And it's like you're reading all the accounts of what women do, and it sounds just so crazy to me, obviously as a man, because I'm privileged in the sense that I can walk home at night, I could have my headphones on blaring away, and I know that unless it's a gang of people, I know ain't nobody gonna run up on me with my 6'2" black ass, and I can kind of walk, I can stride, and I don't have to think about any of those things. Whereas there, you had like women talking about all these different accounts of like how sometimes the choices they have to make when they're getting into an Uber, could this be the last thing they ever do? Walking down the streets, could this be the last moment? And the way the brains are turning, and we'll never understand that as men. But I just think one of those things where we have to kind of like play our position and like do whatever we can.
Yeah, exactly. We do what we can. We stand in solidarity with all the women out there. Like, I mean, whatever we can do, I'm open to suggestions. I mean, I don't like you said, we're in a privileged position. There's not much that we can say that's going to help. But I mean, if we can do anything to help, then I mean, my ears are open.
Yeah, and it was like small things that I was thinking about, because sometimes I go for a run, and if I see like a woman jogger, sometimes she might just nod her head. And initially, I used to think it used to be because I used to think that it was like a runners union sort of thing. So I would just normally be like, yeah, okay, stop, whatever. I'm not gonna stop and have a chit chat with you, but I just like, yeah, just on my heads up. But it might just be a case of like a woman just kind of scouting the place out, because obviously she's thinking, if I don't smile, he might think, oh my god, he's not smiling at me. He might be not a good person. And they're like, we don't know who's good, who's bad, because obviously you had men going, oh well, not all men do this. Not all men. It's not all of us. It's just a tiny minority. And it's like they don't know that in the heat of the moment when they're walking home.
And when it comes to survival, uh, you're not going to be thinking, oh, it's okay, because this person might not. Do you know what I mean? You think, I mean, because if someone is a bit iffy, I mean, I'd rather err on the side of caution in there, to be
Yeah,
perfectly.
exactly. And it's one of those things where I think they were saying that even if it's late at night and you're walking beside a woman, maybe you should cross the road just to kind of make her feel safe in the knowledge that you won't do anything. And you know what, maybe you are this good person, but like I said, they don't know, man. This is it's reached up, it's life and death. This is it. They're going home just so that they can be alive for another day. It's not.
And it's also, have a think about what you look like as well. I mean, I walk to work at like 4 in the morning, right? And I wear a big old jacket. I've got a mask on over my face, and I've got a black cap on. Like, I don't look like the most friendly of sorts when I'm walking to work in the morning. It's just like, yeah, it's everything. Put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's one of those things where if there are little things that we can do, obviously, I think the main thing is to have a seat as men and shut up and listen, play your position, which is to sit down, shut up, and listen. And if there is anything that could be done to just alleviate any kind of stress or anxiety or pain, then you just have to kind of take it on the chin unconditionally. And it's not a case of, oh well, I love women. I got a daughter and I got a mum and I've got sisters and that's how I should be. No, you should feel like that even if you don't have a daughter or even if you don't have prominent women in your life. You should feel this way regardless. And it's not about, oh, how to keep women safe. It's basically how to educate your boys to not be doing this kind of mess.
It's like I said right at the beginning. We shouldn't. Obviously, we shouldn't be in this position, right? We shouldn't be in a position where we're thinking about having to do this, but sadly, we are. So we need to figure out how to resolve it,
Yeah,
at least improve, like, slowly, because obviously we don't want to get into this again, into the same situation where we get into this like conquest attitude where we do one thing and it's all done and dusted. Because for sure this is another one, where it's just got so many different layers. You've got like, women feeling safe on the streets, right? That's one thing. Then you've got women in the workplace. That's another thing. There's like women being able to stay home. That's another thing. Um, you know, and yeah, there's so many different aspects to this again. So and like we said, we're men. We're talking from a position of privilege. So I think, if we can get a female perspective, come and hit us up, and we'll have a discussion.
absolutely. And yeah, like I said, it's been a fairly grim week and on Women's History Month as well.
Yeah, of all things. But anyway, look, we're shining lights on these things. These things have got to be spoken about. And but again, yeah, it's just heart goes out to Sarah's family and friends.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just hope they can get any kind of justice. So please, people, if you're on social media talking about this, don't don't be talking too much about this case. It's an active case. You can be done for contempt of court. It can definitely happen. I don't want it to go out like that. So really and truly be careful what you say and yeah, make sure that the Sarah Everard's family get the full justice that they get, and that's the least they deserve. It's the least that can be done for them. So yeah, please. I know this is a hot topic. It's sensitive. It's reaching America and beyond at this point now. So it's one of those things where look, y'all just yeah. If it's not relevant or if it's to do with the case in any way, just hold off on it until conviction, and then after that you can say whatever the hell you want to say.
I think the least helpful thing at this point is speculation, right? That's the least helpful thing. So, like you said, hot case, we just don't say anything, man, until it's done.
Contempt of court is real, man. So many cases has been thrown out because people said some stuff. You might think, oh, I'm just a tweeter. Nope. You can get caught out on this stuff, definitely. So honestly, guys, just be careful.